Hey everybody, I'm Terri Britt. We're getting ready to start our Women Leaders of Love Own Your Worth Wednesdays. If you're jumping in on us, welcome. I want to invite you as we're getting set up and allowing people to trickle in on the Zoom part of this call to just take a few moments and breathe, allow yourself to get settled in. If you're here in the US, you may have had a big holiday weekend like I just had, and you may be a little tired. Maybe you're trying to catch up. So this is a great opportunity to give yourself permission to do that. So we're just going to give ourselves. So I'm excited to start this conversation today. I'm Terri Britt. For those of you who are just joining us, this is our Women Leaders of Love Own Your Worth Wednesdays. We are so glad you're here. Now, I want to explain to you just real quickly for those of you who are new, because I'm seeing some new names coming in on the Zoomcast. For those of you on Facebook, this is simply a watch. And if you want to ask questions or post thoughts, I will come to those after this actual call and answer as many as I can. If you ever want to be on this live telecast with the people who are in that are coming in on the Zoom call right now, just go to terribritt.com/leaders and get my free Worthiness Quotient Breakthrough Bundle. You're going to get my Women Leaders of Love ebook and 3 guided meditations. And then each week you will get the link to this Zoom call. So it's really cool to come in here because you'll be able to ask questions and raise your hand. If you have comments or thoughts, then we want to invite you to do that. And I see Katie just joined us. So what I was saying is we just came off of this crazy weekend here, and I went floating down the river with a bunch of friends tied together. We had so much fun, but I found myself being really, really tired. So this is a time when we nurture ourselves, right? When we come together. So I want to invite you right now just to start getting into a space of receptivity, because not only do we clean out crap that has us stuck and not really owning our worths, but we're in a state of being nurtured and being supported. So I want to invite you right now just to take a moment while we're letting people trickle on to get into a receptive state. So the way you do that is just by breathing and saying, yes, I give myself permission to receive the guidance, the love, and the healing that is being offered to me right now. I give myself permission to open up and receive it. So when you do that, you're commanding that, yes, I'm worthy. Yes, I deserve to be nurtured, loved, and supported. So that is something you can start doing every single day. It's just taking a moment. One of the things that I like to do is I give myself permission to receive as I visualize opening up the crown of my head and allowing the light of God, the light of love to flood in. It's a great way. It's a great way to get centered and connected just like that. You can do it at the grocery store, okay? You can do it sitting in your car. You can do it anywhere. And what it does is it just gets you into an open-hearted, surrendered state of being so that you are fully receptive to the love that you deserve. So something to just get started with today. Now, I want to talk about, do any of you have something that is lingering in your life that you often find yourself saying, I just wish it would go away? Have you ever had that happen? I mean, I know you do, right? I mean, we have it happen on a regular basis. It's like, I just wish it would go away. And what happens is that we go into resistance energy, whether it's with a relationship. Maybe you have an issue going on with a partner or one of your kids or a coworker, and you think, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? Is it ever going to be over with? I mean, I know you've all felt that. So when you think of that, you're in resistance energy. And when you're in that resistance energy, what you're saying is what is happening right now is wrong. What is happening right now should not be happening. And that's the exact opposite of the truth, because what we always want to remember is that your outer world is a mirror to your inner world. And if something is showing up and it's lingering, it's because there is a gift that is being revealed. There is a gift that is showing you, oh, this is the vibration you're holding, and this is what you're putting out into the world, whether you know it or not. And so you're attracting it to you. I'll give you an example of this because this was just such a perfect example. When I was writing my book, The Enlightened Mom, I was working with a coaching client, and her story's in the book, so I have her permission to share this. But she was going through a really tough divorce. Well, they were in arbitration, I think, or mediation. They were going through all of this stuff. And she says, I just want it to be over. I just want it to be over. And of course you do, right? Because it's painful. It's hard to stomach. So what I shared with her is that you have to think of a difficult situation as a Christmas tree. Now, I know not everybody here is Christian and practices Christmas or celebrates Christmas, but just visualize this with me, okay? So you think of it as a Christmas tree with all the presents underneath. All those presents underneath that Christmas tree are gifts. Now, they look pretty, right, in this visual, but when you look at it, they are the things that are the hardest. So when you take each gift and you say, okay, I'm going to embrace this and I'm going to open it up so the gift can be revealed, what's actually happening is when we look at an issue in our life and we say, this is dragging out forever, and we pay attention to what's bothering us the most in that moment, that's one of those presents under the Christmas tree. So when we invite ourselves to say, okay, thank you for the gift, and we open up that present to see, what is it showing me about myself? What is it showing me about where I've owned my worth or where I haven't owned my worth? Then as we clear out the belief that we recognize because of that situation that's being mirrored to us, and we give ourselves permission to stand in our truths, we've received that gift. The problem is that a lot of times there are many gifts in a situation, okay? A lot of times there are years worth of gifts, and we think, why won't it go away? It's because all of those packages under that tree have not been opened up. I'll give you another example. When my husband Charlie and I blended our families, he raised his daughter different than I raised mine, and quite honestly, and he will tell you so, I was more about being allowing my kids to be what's the best word, to really nurture them so that they were ready to fly, where he had kind of suppressed his daughter out of thinking that was what was going to keep her safe. So it was a little bit more dysfunction. And don't get me wrong, I had my dysfunction in my marriage with my late husband, but I had shifted a lot of it. So I was raising my kids to not be so dysfunctional, to really help them be empowered. Well, Charlie had not learned that yet. So for me, one of the things that I had to learn, and this has been, 13 years ago it started, was that, or I guess it was 14, I had to really embrace my voice because he was different. And I started finding myself buying into his way, because that's the way I was raised, is that you honor the man's way rather than the woman's way, instead of honoring our wisdom. So I was honoring him, and there was this tug of war inside of me that said, no, you're not being the woman leader of love that you are, right? You're not standing in your truth. So there was this battle. And what happened is over the years, it would pop up more and more and more and more, so that I would find myself going into that darker energy. I might find myself lashing out at her, finding myself lashing out at him. And so I just had to keep embracing the gift and seeing that the situation as a Christmas tree with lots and lots of more presents. We're talking about a room full of presents, okay? So I had to keep embracing those gifts to the point where I got to the place. And what it really came down to was that my biggest issue in the dynamic of that was, as a child, I never felt really protected. I always felt like I wasn't enough, or I had to be something different. And so because I was different than Charlie, he would insist that I needed to be different and be like him. And then I would suppress because I really wanted to be myself. And so it was this battle of me finding my inner power and finding my voice. When I finally got to the place of saying, I don't need him to protect me, because what would happen was it would feel like he was protecting her, instead of saying, hey, my wife's a wise woman, maybe she knows a lot, right? And it was that his dysfunction, it was his whole pain and suffering. Her mother, his late wife, had killed herself, and he had these fears for Haley, which is, rightfully so. But there was this dynamic going on. So for me, this lingering, it was this constant feeling of he protects her, and where do I matter? And when I got to a place of finally saying, you know what, I don't need anyone to protect me. I am the divine mother to my inner child, and God is my protector. Then I could let go of some of that crap that had been showing up, and everything has started to change. Just really in the last year, quite honestly, because this has been a long core issue for me. This has been a long core issue of me moving into trust, me moving into a space of saying, I can be fully who I am, speak my voice in my marriage, in everything that I do. That's been a huge one for me, because if you were to ever have looked at me in the past, it looked like I had tape over my face. If you looked at it from a spiritual perspective, that no, you can't speak your voice. Because when I would try to speak my voice as a child, I was told I was wrong. Can anybody relate? Anybody relate to that feeling? So these are things that I've been working out. These are core issues. And some people will say we have 3 major core issues in our life. So these are the gifts that fill up that room under that Christmas tree, and that we tend to resist. But if we'll just keep using it as an opportunity to go within and look at what is my truth, what belief did I buy into, and move it out, then as we stand in our truth, that's where we find peace. That's where we find joy. That's where we find that inner connection. That's where we find trust and open up to really receive nurturing from the universe. That's where we feel worthy. Now, on a daily basis, we can have little situations that are not long-term core ones, right? There may be little things that just something at work that's not working, and you feel like you're struggling. Again, there's that little Christmas tree there, and there are presents under it. And so if you feel like, well, I just fix this part of it, but now I feel myself agitated. I feel this tightening in my solar plexus, or I feel like I want to scream at somebody. That's when you once again say, okay, am I in resistance? Am I seeing the gift in this? And how do I embrace this? What is it that is being called to be healed within me? So this is what I want us to dive into the meditation today. Is I want you to pay attention to, what are you resisting? And I tell you, a perfect example for everyone practically is the pandemic. Okay, the pandemic is affecting everyone. And there's so much resistance, there's so much anger, there's so much judgment. People are going off, just in the craziest of ways. And it's because there's so much negative energy on the planet. And so what we're doing is we're tending to resist it and fight it, saying, "Ugh, I don't want to do this anymore," instead of saying, okay, what present is still under the tree that is waiting to be revealed? I was talking to a dear friend of mine today, and she said that she is constantly reminding people, what are you doing? Oh, there's a big hawk. This is like the second week in a row I think that's happened. Is what are you doing today to love yourself more? What are you doing to expand and explore who you are? I mean, this pandemic has been a wonderful opportunity for us to slow down, to look at ourselves, to look at, do I love my life? Am I really honoring who I am in the way I was created? Am I doing things that make me feel joyful? There's been wonderful opportunity for this, but because there's so much resistance and fear, people are not receiving the gift. So that's a prime example of something that you can look at. So I want you right now to just think about, is there something in my life that's lingering? Maybe it is the pandemic that's bothering you. Or is it something at work? Is it something in your home? Again, where maybe you don't feel like someone's hearing you. Maybe you feel like you're not being respected. That's a big one that comes in the home. There are so many things that can tend to linger for you. So you have to think of it as, what is the ribbon that is running through my life that's not working? What is that ribbon that has me feeling as if, is it ever going to end? Is it ever going to get better? And then because of those things, we often start questioning ourselves and saying, what's wrong with me? Why can't it get better? That's when we start questioning our worth. It's not about your worth. It's that there's a gift that, well, it's about your worth, but it's about you owning your worth and letting go of the beliefs that tell you that that you're bad, because that's really what it comes down to, right? Is that if we feel these things stick around, we often feel bad. We often feel there's something wrong with me. Is it ever going to get better? And we start questioning ourselves and questioning our worthiness. It's like, no, it's just an opportunity for you to go deeper within, to connect to your true self and to love yourself and to create a deeper connection to God and the universe. That's all it is. It's not about you're bad. It's not that you're wrong. It's not that you've made mistakes. It's just that it's an opportunity for you to love yourself more. So I want to dive into this meditation again, thinking about something in your life that you're resisting. Because remember, whatever you resist persists, right? So I want you to think about what is it in your life that you are resisting and that it feels like it's never going to go away. So as you're doing that, I want to invite you to just close your eyes. We're going to go into meditation here. And as you close your eyes, I want to invite you to breathe in through your nose, holding it as you breathe in. Let it really come in and absorb into your body. Hold it and release very, very slowly. Let's do that again. Breathe in and then release. Let's take a moment to get grounded, opening up the crown of your head and lighting the inviting the light of God in. Allow that light to come into your crown, coming into your face. Breathing in. Allow that energy to come into your neck, washing all the stuck energy. You can even move your head around, giving it permission to relax. And then bringing the light into your shoulders, down your arms and out your hands. You can even wring your hands a little bit and just really imagine that everything is shooting out of the palms of your hands and your fingertips, anything that you're holding on to. Bringing that light of love again down from your shoulders into your chest. Imagining the light going between your shoulder blades. Really washing all of your organs here, your heart, your lungs. And now bringing that light down into your belly. Breathing into this. We're getting grounded. We're opening up every cell of the body to love, to light. And bring that light down into your belly, right below your belly button. Breathe into this. Moving it down into your hips now. And then sending that light down your legs. And into your feet. Imagining anything that is ready to be released going out of the balls of your feet and even the tips of your toes. It's like the light is shooting out. We're going to send anything that is not yours that's ready to be released. We're going to send it down to the center of the earth, imagining a column of light there. This is your grounding cord. And I want you to imagine that you're so full of light that is now flooding into your auric field around you. Extending your arms out, imagining that this field of energy is at right beyond your fingertips and that you are filling up with light, not only in the inside, but on the outside. We're clearing your energy. We're letting go of anything that is sitting in your energy field. We're releasing it right now. And now let everything move down to the bottom of your feet and send it down out of the bottom of this auric field and send it down to the center of the earth. We're going to send it back with love. And breathing into this. Now I want to invite you as you relax deeper into this meditation. I want you to check in with your body. And hopefully you had something in your mind that you know you're resisting, that seems to be lingering. I want you to just call in your mind what that movie is. You can even see a screen in front of you and see the movie, whatever works for you. What is it that's been lingering? What is holding on for dear life? And how does this make you feel? How does it make you feel? Does it make you feel controlling? Does it make you feel hopeless, depressed, angry, frustrated, alone? How does it make you feel? And let's go into the body to get a sense of where this energy is being held. So when you check in with your body, you may see a picture in your mind, you may just have a feeling, you may sense a gray spot or a dark spot in your energy. I want you to just kind of check in with that and go there. Go to that spot. And now you can visualize a big rose coming in. We always see roses as vacuum cleaners, the head of the rose. And I want you to imagine the rose, wherever that spot is that it's starting to pull the dark energy out. Pulling all the dark energy. You don't even have to do anything. It's just like you're saying, I release this energy into the rose. This is the power you have to do this, to let the energy move into the rose. And we're just doing a clearing on the body right now so we can get some of this energy out. Okay. And you may see this or feel this in your whole being, and that is okay. So you can just draw the energy out from your whole being. You may even find that it is under your feet, that it feels like it's in your grounding. That's okay too. Wherever it feels like you're just being drawn, we allow our intuition to guide us in this. There's no right or wrong answer. Just allow yourself to go there and then draw the energy out with the rose. Really feel yourself releasing right now. And now we're going to take that rose and we're going to send it out into the universe like confetti. We always blow it up like confetti. We're sending it back with love and even celebration because there's a gift here that is about to be revealed. So I want you to imagine that we're about to open up one of those gifts from that Christmas tree, this thing that has been lingering for a long time. So as we've cleared out a little of this energy and you're hopefully feeling a little bit more in neutrality, I want you to imagine that that thing again that you were focusing on, that you realize you've been holding on to and there's resistance. I want you to imagine this present in front of you. You're going to take it out of that part of your body, wherever it was, or you can just visualize a present in front of you. And I want you to imagine that as you start taking the bow off and you start opening the paper, you're saying, thank you. Thank you for the gift. Thank you for what is about to be revealed to me, because this resistance, this holding on, there's a gift to show me how I need to release the belief and go deeper into in loving myself. So I want you to imagine as you've taken that paper off and there's the box, and now you're lifting the lid off the box, that you stick your hand in that box and you pull out something. It might be a word, it might be a picture, it might be a trinket of something. And this is significant of what you're needing to say yes to. It's like we're cleaning out the energy, and this is saying, what are you needing to say yes to? So a lot of times when whatever's being mirrored to us is we're saying no to ourselves. We're saying, no, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve goodness. And so badness shows up, or things that feel hard. But when you say, what do you need to say yes to? What's the present here? What is it I need to say yes to? And the whole energy can shift. So maybe you pull out a piece of paper and it says, speak your truth. Okay. Maybe you pull out a baby rattle and it says, nurture the inner child inside of you. Maybe you pull out a picture of a golf cart and a golf course and you say, what in the world does this mean? And it means you need to get outside and be playful. So, what is your spirit calling you to do so that you can receive one of the gifts from the situation that's been lingering so long? What is it? What are you being called to do? If you're grasping at this, just take a breath, visualize opening up your crown, breathing into it. And it's a state of surrender when you do this. And then you can once again say, what is it that I'm being shown? If you don't see pictures like I see pictures, you may have a knowingness, you may hear a word, you may, just have something inside of your body that tells you what you're being called to do. So trust your instincts. This is about you learning to trust your intuition. Breathing into this. What are you being called to do? And now, wherever this box came from, underneath, deep in the energy, was the belief that said you couldn't do this. Okay. So I want to invite you right now to say, what is the belief that has said no? What is the belief I've been holding on to that says, no, I can't do this? And again, it may be a feeling, it may be a knowingness. A way to do this, even with the box, is you can visualize after you've taken out that gift that you're supposed to be acting upon, is and see, okay, what's underneath it that's keeping me from doing this? And you might see a layer of tissue that you lift up and you pull something out. What is the belief that's keeping you from loving yourself this way? And so, what I want you to recognize is that if this belief has been lingering and sitting under that tree of gifts, it is not the truth. If it is causing you pain and suffering, it is not the truth. So I want you to recognize right now that you just got to the belief, you got to what your spirit is wanting you to do, to love yourself by whatever the gift was that you saw that you're supposed to be doing in your life and nurturing yourself that way. And you now see the belief that has been underneath and that has been keeping you from doing this. So I want you to imagine that present is there. You've taken out the gift, the good thing that you want to call into your life, and that belief that you've had that has been keeping you stuck, you've got it in the box. You just put it in the box. And now imagine all the energy that is related to that belief that is still lingering in your being. Put it in the box. Put everything in the box right now. And then when you feel that it is full, and actually I'm saying let's go down into the grounding below your feet. So you can even see, is there anything down there that you're ready to pull up and put into the box? Because a lot of times in our foundational energy and under our feet, there's stuff, there's crap. So we want to pull that up, put that into the box. And now, when you're ready, we're going to take that box and we're going to send it into the white light of God to transmute the energy. It's no different than sending it out in a rose. This is just another way for you to do it. You can just send that box out into the light. And I want to invite you, whatever that gift was that you saw that you were being asked to open up to, right? Because that tree was full of presence underneath of things that have been lingering that you need to say yes to for you, right? So I want you to imagine whatever that gift was that you pulled out of the box and you saw that present, like, oh, this is what I'm being called to do, to love myself more, to treat myself as if I'm worthy. I want you to imagine whatever that was that you pulled out of the box, that the energy of that thing is pouring into the crown of your head. We're calling that energy in and saying yes to it, feeling our whole beings up from toes to head to fingertips. You're saying yes to it. So, for instance, if you saw a baby rattle and it said you need to nurture that little kid inside of you more and be, treat yourself with so much compassion and love, you can say, well, what is that word? What would the energy be? Oh, it is compassion and love. And maybe it's being nurturing. So you bring that energy in. So ask yourself, what is the energy related to this? And then call that energy in. And feel that moving throughout your whole being, just saying yes to it. Feeling that energy surrounding you, moving down underneath your feet into your grounding. Feeling yourself smile as you say yes to it. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Breathing into this. Now, as you do that, I want you to see that Christmas tree again, or the tree if you don't practice Christmas or celebrate Christmas. I want you to see, are there still presents under that tree? Was this exercise that we just did the final one that you needed to do to release a situation that you've been resisting? Or are there other presents? And you might not see the tree, but you may have a sense like, oh, there's more. I don't want you to fret. I want you to just say, okay, bring it on. Bring it on. Because if you resist it, it's going to linger longer and longer and longer and longer. But the more you can say, bring it on, I open myself up to receive these gifts, then they will be given to you in divine timing. You'll embrace them, you'll release them, you'll see the gift, you'll let go of the beliefs that no longer serve you. And then in the end, when you've unwrapped all of the presents that are in relation to this gift, you will feel empowered and you will feel at peace with this situation. So breathing into this again and just saying yes to that. Yes, 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 yes. Bring it on, universe. Bring it on, God. Bring it on. I'm ready to receive each one of these presents in divine timing. And when you're ready, you can come back into the space. I'll never forget the woman that I was talking about and the Enlightened Mom when I was writing it, when she was going through this divorce. At first, she resisted this idea that there was a gift, under the tree with her divorce. And then she recognized that there were a lot of gifts. Well, through our coaching, and we were doing one-on-one coaching at that time, she kept unraveling each of the gifts. And what happened was she saw that she was stifling her voice. She wasn't saying what she needed, especially when they were in arbitration for their divorce. By the end of it, when it was really the final moment, the final meeting to go in there and hammer everything out, what was really interesting is she was no longer attached to any of it anymore. She was so at peace and had embraced the gift of this divorce so much that she was unattached. And that's where we want to be, right? Because if we're holding on so much and we're grasping, like, I've got to get this and I've got to get that, that's when it's hardest and that's when it's difficult. But when you are unattached and you surrender and you say, you know what, I've already received the gift of this situation, then the situation can dissipate with love. If I remember correctly, her and her ex, they were able to end everything in a very amicable, positive way. It was really cool. What I remember most is how excited she was. I remember how joyous she was, having walked through that process and seeing everything as a present, and recognizing that if she resisted opening up each gift, that they would stay under the tree. It would be like that Christmas tree that lasted forever. Okay, who wants that? So it would be that tree sitting there forever with the gifts underneath it, and you'd just be looking at it and feeling like, ooh, when is it all going to go away? But instead, because she started celebrating it, she was able to walk through in celebration. And boy, her worthiness went whew. She was so excited about life and so empowered. It was the coolest thing on the planet to see her do that. I think that was the first person I'd ever really walked through from the beginning to the end of a divorce, and to walk through in a way that was so empowering rather than feeling like a victim. And that was so key, right? Because if you've ever been through a divorce and you felt like something was happening to you, then it feels awful and you carry that energy. And she wasn't carrying any of that energy because she no longer resisted and she opened up each gift. So I want to open up to questions and comments now for those of you who are on this Zoom call. I mentioned earlier, for those of you listening on Facebook, if you ever want to be on the Zoom and you don't know how to get in, if you're on my mailing list, we send out the link every Wednesday morning, and I think we send it Tuesday morning too. But you can, if you're not in there, you can definitely get in with ease by going to terribritt.com/leaders and get my Worthiness Quotient Breakthrough Bundle. It's totally free, and it's to help you really start loving and raising your worthiness. So does anyone have a question? So what we're going to do, if you don't know how to do the questions, let me see. Let me open up the chat. Why is this not opening up? There it is. If you don't know, nothing is on here. Okay. Hold on one second. I'm just seeing a blank screen. I don't know why. Okay, if you want to ask a question, down on the bottom of your screen is a menu bar, and you will see the reactions. It says reactions. You click on that, and then there's a bar that says raise your hand, and you can raise your hand. Although I am not seeing anybody raise your hand, and I can't even see anybody over here on the right, which I would normally see to ask questions. If anybody wants to ask a question and you would just want to type it in and say, Terri, I do, you can just type it in. I will see that part on the chat. So what I would love to hear back from you is, are you resisting anything? Does anyone want some personal coaching on, boy, I'm really resisting this situation in my life, and yeah, maybe the meditation helped just then, but maybe you need some personal coaching right now. This is the time to raise your hand. If you feeling like, well, I'm raising my hand, Terri, and you're not calling on me because my side screen is not working. Let me see if I can pull, see if anything comes up. I'm not even seeing y'all's names, and usually I can see everybody on here, and I'm not seeing that. So if you want to ask a question and I am not seeing you, unmute yourself and say, hey, Terri, I'm here. I want to ask a question or I have a thought. Anybody? Oh,
Hey, Terri, it's Katie.
Hey, okay, now it just popped up, but it's still not showing up on the side screen. Hey, Katie, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. This was a great meditation. I was resistant. I didn't want to put my hand up because you did such a great job with me last week. I didn't want to monopolize things, but once again, you just hit the nail, the hammer with the nail, whatever that saying is.
The nail on the head.
Yeah, whatever. But you know, I know my thing is victimhood. I just figured this out. I had a conversation with my friend the other day, and I was like, oh, and my kids and blah, blah, blah. And I got off the phone and I knew immediately. And I reached out to her and I said, I am so sorry. That's not how I wanted to be. I don't want to be the whiner. I don't want to be, trashing my kids. So I really thought about what is going on. And so today, I believe that present, or the thing that I'm resistant, well, no, I can't figure out. I can't put my finger on it. That's what I kind of need some help from you with. Is it worthiness? Is it self-love? I am in victimhood. What am I getting from it? I'm getting attention. I'm feeling like I matter. I am
Wow.
some love from that. I just want to get this out. This has been something between my kids and I. Like I'm not respected. I don't matter with them, all of this stuff. And for years now, and I just don't know what it's about. Well, thank you. This meditation brought it to me. This is victimhood. And when I was telling my friend about how my kids were treating me, it was about, okay, again, it's not happening to me. It's happening for me. Exactly. So, but when I went to look in the box, I can't quite figure out, is it self-love? Is it worthiness? Powerful. I am powerful.
Right. Well, just so you know,
came to me, but I don't know. So I could really help.
Sure. Well, self-love leads to worthiness. Okay. So when you choose self-love, what you're doing energetically is especially like, I teach to talk to the little kid inside of you because that child is the one who's wounded, right? And then we've left the room as the adult. So this is about you empowering yourself, saying, I'm not choosing victimhood anymore. I'm choosing to be a woman leader of love. Okay. So that immediately says no more victimhood, right?
Okay.
And you may slip back because we do, right? We're humans, but just recognizing I'm taking a stand for being a woman leader of love. And then it is about looking at that little kid and loving her. So when your children are not respecting you, how do you need to respect yourself more? Do you need to create stronger boundaries? Okay. So it's about loving yourself that way. And then by treating yourself that way, you're saying, I am worthy. So self-love and worthiness go hand in hand.
Okay.
Okay. So here's another thing to think about. Like when you are loving that little kid and you said respect was one of the issues, right? And you say, how do I respect myself more? And maybe you need to create a stronger boundary, but then you're still getting mirrored this judgment. So you take it one step deeper and you say, okay, I'm trying to respect myself, but sometimes the actions and the beliefs in the subconscious mind don't match. And so that's why we still see this crap outside of us. So you might be saying, okay, I'm going to respect myself. I'm going to create boundaries. But when you look inside and you go through that process of retrieving the gift of love and you look at that little girl inside of you and you say, what is this mirroring to you? You see that she's buried in guilt because she took on a belief that it wasn't okay to create a strong boundary. So you might be creating a boundary and saying what you want, but if your subconscious mind says, no, you can't do that, then you're going to be buried in guilt, which is the second to the lowest emotional vibration. And so you're going to still attract crap to you because it's showing you there's still more to clean up. Does that make sense?
Ah, absolutely. Absolutely. Perfect.
This is the way
Yeah,
I see it. Say that one more time. You broke up.
Boundaries is an issue with me.
Mhm.
Establishing boundaries, yeah, and speaking my truth. So yeah.
Yes. And so both of those, like, looking at speaking your truth, if you look at the little girl inside of you and you say, so what is this mirroring to you about speaking your truth? And she might say, well, if you speak your truth, you lose your family's love. Okay, it
Yes.
might be something like that. So here's where you really want to create that deep connection within, because what it really comes down to is you want to get to a point that it does not matter if your children love you. Okay, that you feel so full on the inside that there is no neediness to have them love you and fill you up, because that's really what it comes down to. When we don't respect ourselves enough and we don't love ourselves enough, we don't want to be alone, we don't want to be abandoned, we want to hold on to our families, and so we hold on to our kids. And so we have this battle inside of us. The part of us says, I want boundaries, I want to speak my truth, and then the little wounded kid says, no, you'll lose everybody's love and they're not going to like you anymore. You know what I'm saying? And,
Oh,
and you see what I'm saying? And so
yeah.
there's this battle, and then that's what's mirrored back to you. So you want to go deeper into, I'm creating my boundaries, I'm respecting myself, I'm speaking my truth. But when crap is still showing up, that's when I have to go even deeper and see, what is the belief that says I can't do this? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I have to tell you, I've gotten so much out of just these last 2 weeks listening to you and going through these meditations. Thank you so much.
Oh,
That
my pleasure.
really
I'm
makes
so
sense.
glad you're here. Yeah, I feel very
Yeah.
strongly about this. I mean, I really truly believe that if we women stood up and did this, all of us, that we would change the climate of the planet. Because when we are worthy and we are loved and nurtured, then we become that example, right? And all this dissension breaks. And then your kids get to see you going, wow, my mom is so empowered. I want to be like that, right?
Yes.
I mean, and
Yeah.
this, we think, oh, if I bury myself, I'm doing the right thing for my kids. No, it's not what you do for your children. It's how you live your life that's going to impact them the most.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Such an
Yeah.
aha moment. Thank you.
Yay! Okay. I cannot see how to lower your hand, so
All right.
I'm gonna have you mute yourself. Let me see if I can lower your hand. Oh, I can do it right here. It was so weird. Okay, so oh, I don't know how to say your name. Lindelwa. She says, good evening, Terri and everyone. I'm joining from Johannesburg, South Africa. I was about to ask you if you were from South Africa. Way to be here. I'm so excited to see you. Thank you so much for this profound session and amazing meditation. It's my first time, so I'm still familiarizing myself with how your platform works. I watched your presentation from the Avaya University Summit last month and was blown away. Thank you for sharing your gifts with the world. Yay! Well, we're so glad you're here. And wow, from South Africa. Isn't that exciting, guys? Oh, I got chills. I got chills. Is to think that, we're reaching women all over the planet who are taking a stand for love. And as you take a stand for loving yourself unconditionally, you are raising your worthiness, you're owning your worth. And what's so beautiful about it is I see that we're really moving into union consciousness, to Christ consciousness, to unconditional love consciousness. It's that consciousness of compassion and kindness and gentleness and passion and playfulness and forgiveness. It's all those things we want to see more of on the planet, and we are doing it. And you being here is doing it. And so I'm just so grateful for each of you for being here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So Ternisha says, my gift was the word freedom. The energy that came up was peace. What has been lingering was weight and lack. Your wisdom about this. Trinicius, will you come on and what you mean about weight and lack? I mean, I understand lack, but I don't understand what the weight thing is, if it has to do with weight or what. So will you come on and talk to me? Just unmute yourself.
Can
Is
you
that
hear
you?
me?
Hey, girl.
Hi, how are you, Terri?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Yeah, I keep gaining weight. I keep eating. And what came up for me is that the food is what's giving you peace.
Well, you know why that is. So scientifically, it depends on what you're eating, but it's probably feeding the serotonin, the happy, the happy hormone that goes into your brain.
Ah,
So the food does that. But here's another deeper thing on the food, Trinicius. It has to do with its protection. So we might be looking for joy in a certain way. So it feels like the food is doing that because I got that same disease, girl. Give me some
I hear
chocolate,
you.
okay? I mean, I have learned to look at the signs. If I start eating and I am not, I'm like, okay, what's going on inside of me?
Yeah.
Because I am eating to fill myself up rather than whatever needs to be done. So it's now my sign. Okay, you are way out of balance. And what are you needing to give yourself emotionally? How are you needing to love yourself? Okay.
Mm,
Here's another thing I do, and just see if this resonates for you, is the more I step out into the world with my work, there's a tendency, not so much now because it's over the last so many years, right? I found myself putting on weight, and it
mhm,
was because it was protection. It
mm,
was protection. It was like I had so many issues about being afraid that people were going to attack me for
right.
speaking my truth and sharing this message.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy, right? Because I'm speaking about love,
Right.
but I also speak about guides and I speak about energy. And a lot of people don't like that. They think it's woo woo.
Right.
So I found myself putting more and more protection on. And I had to ask myself, why? And it was me trying to keep myself safe. If I
Wow.
was heavy, I wouldn't put myself out there as much because I was judging myself. Is any of
Mm,
this making sense?
it is. It is. Yes.
Yeah. So what do you think yours is coming from? What do you think is going on?
Well, I wrote that I wrote because I was taking notes and I was writing down and I says the belief that I have been holding on to is that I'm going to fail at whatever I try and then people will make fun of me. Mm,
Way
jeez,
to go, girl. That's
jeez.
good work.
Mm-hmm.
That's good work.
That's
So
it.
when you look at that, how does it make you feel? Does it make you feel like I want to have the courage to be willing to fail?
Right now it's making me cry.
Mm-hmm.
It's making me cry because it's what's keeping me stuck.
Okay, so what I want you to do right now is I want you to look at little Trinicius. And I want you to visualize picking her up and putting her on your lap.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I want you to ask her, when have you ever been made fun of? Have you been made fun of in the past?
Yes.
So go back to the original one, the one that comes up that really sticks to you. What's the one that what memory is that? Can you share that with me?
Yeah. We had just, I think I was maybe 7 years old, and we had just moved to the South from the North. And my sister and I were different. We talked different. We dressed different. I was fair skinned and long hair, and the children teased me. And I began to change at that moment. I know what it is. And I began to lose myself at that moment.
So I want you to look at little Trinicius and I want you to ask her what was the belief you took on?
That that I wasn't okay that way.
Yeah, that you were wrong for being who you are. You're not okay.
Mm,
Now, was that the truth?
no, it wasn't.
Okay. So can you tell that little girl inside of you? How old was she, did you say?
It was around 7.
So can you imagine a 7-year-old making a decision that affects every aspect of your life? A 7-year-old making that decision.
Yeah,
That's pretty crazy, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah. So can you, the adult now, tell her that that decision was simply a little mistake? Of course she hurt, right? She hurt because it didn't feel good to be ousted. It didn't feel good to be humiliated. And tell her how sorry that you are, that she felt so badly, but she doesn't have to feel that way anymore. So As you're doing that and you're speaking from your heart to her, you're now making her feel safe. Okay. You're making her feel that, well, maybe it is okay for me to be the way I am.
Mhm.
Okay. So I want you to imagine that, that I want you to do one other thing before we start clearing the energy. I want you to ask, is there one particular person that stands out to you back then that said that to you?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Mhm.
Okay. So I want you to imagine that person. And what you have to remember, and I teach this in my Worthiness Quotient program, and you've seen it, is that we talk about spiritual agreements, right? That
Mhm.
these people were playing their part for you in this lifetime to get on this path, whatever your path is.
Mhm.
I want you to imagine that person. Was it a little boy or a little girl, or was it an adult?
Girl, a girl.
So I want you to imagine that little girl, and I want you to ask her spirit, what was hurting inside of you that made you want to hurt me?
I know what it was.
What was it?
She was jealous of my looks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she was jealous of your looks. So
Mhm.
can you now just visualize putting a pink blanket of love around her and just tell her, you know what? I'm so sorry you were hurting, but I'm no longer going to hold your pain. And I want you to imagine that you just take all that pain that you took from this kid and you put it in a suitcase. Just imagine a suitcase in front of you, open it up, and you say, you know what? This is not mine. I took it on because that's all I knew as a little kid was to take that on and to make that decision. Simple childhood decision making. Oh, well, you know? And when you put all that energy that you took on from that little girl, and I want you to imagine everything's leaving your body, leaving your auric field, even the filter, because I see a filter around your energy field. Okay. So it's
Mhm.
almost like you need to unwind it. It's like this cheesecloth that we're going to put in there because this is how you've been seeing the world, that people were going to judge you. She
Mm.
was she was envying you.
Yes.
Okay. But you took it as judgment.
Mm.
Okay. So put everything in that suitcase. And now I want you to hand that suitcase to her and say, thank you, but no, thank you.
Mhm.
I send this to you with love. And I want you to imagine that little girl and that suitcase and anyone else who had that energy that was throwing it at you to send it in to the light of God. Send it back with love.
Mm.
And now we're going to call back your truth. So I want you to look at that little girl in that your truth, your inner child, and say,
Mhm.
what was your truth? And what does she say?
She said you were beautiful just the way you were.
I am beautiful. So I
Mhm.
want you to pull in that and just say, I give myself permission to own this. And I want you to feel that energy of I am beautiful
And beautiful.
just the way I was created. And I want you to feel that energy coming into the crown and feeling it up. This is a soul retrieval where you're calling back the energy of your truth that you separated from. Okay. You
Mm.
separated from your truth as
Mm.
that little girl. And now you're ready to call it back.
Mm.
Just allow that energy to flood in. And as you leave here today, I want you to start saying that mantra to yourself, I am beautiful. I am beautiful. And I want you to look in the mirror and say, I am beautiful. And I want you to feel the feeling of that. Okay. And what's so beautiful about this is that that little girl hurt you. But if you'd never had that happen, you might not have ever owned your beauty, the beauty of who you are inside and out. So
Mm.
the beauty in this path is that now you can actually look at yourself with the intention of an inner love, looking into your eyes into the mirror and saying, I am beautiful, and
Mm.
really saying, I am beautiful, and
Mm.
seeing you from the soul and to the outward. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Beautiful.
I want to challenge you to do that for your homework this week.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
You
Yeah.
are so welcome.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much.
being here and thank you for sharing. So you can unmute yourself. Or let me
Okay.
unmute yourself. Yeah, maybe I can lower your hand. Oh, you don't have your hand up. Okay, so I'm gonna mute you. So let me just finish up with these other ones. So Lynn, Lindelwa, I hope I'm saying your name right, said, I can't believe myself this is happening and that I'm in this session with you and everyone here. Thank you and God bless. Well, I'm so glad you're here. And then Katie says, I heard you on Avaya too, and I'm listening to you from another country, Panama, sending much love to you in this community. Oh my God, that's so cool. I know we've had people on here from Sweden and now South Africa and Panama, and where else are we from, you guys? This is so cool. Well, I just want you to think of this way, okay? Each of you, wherever you are, whether it's in your city, your state, your country, I want you to think of yourself as anchoring the light. When my late husband wanted to move from Los Angeles, which is so light oriented. I mean, everybody's working with, meditation. It's so open there. And we were moving back to the South where I'd already had some judgment on me for being, a healer and a clairvoyant. I meditated on it and I heard, you're going to anchor the light. I was like, okay, here goes. And it was a little scary for me, right? To move to the panhandle of Florida and anchor the light. But now what I see is that we are each anchoring the light. Those of us who are doing this, I don't want you to just think about doing it as, okay, I'm doing it in my life and I'm trying to love myself and own my worth. You're not only affecting you, you're affecting the people around you because they're going to watch you and learn. But energetically, what's happening is that you are holding this vibration. And the more you raise your vibration into self-worth and self-love and that inner abundance, of course, the goodness for you is that you're going to attract really wonderful things to you, but you are setting the tone of the vibration and anchoring the light wherever you are, whether it's in South Africa, if it's in Panama or Sweden or wherever you are anchoring the light to help bring in that vibration. So if you've ever questioned your purpose, okay, if you've ever questioned your purpose, it's that you're doing it right now by being here, by choosing to be a woman leader of love, and by choosing to anchor the light wherever you are, because that's why it's so important that the more of us who do this, it's almost like the little anchors all of a sudden start webbing together and we become a world of light, which is what we're craving right now, right? So I want you to think of it that way for yourself, is that I am anchoring the light, and in my light, I'm spreading the light for others. What an amazing gift. So for us to close out today, I want us to just go back for a moment. And I want you to see that wherever you are, that you are this light. And then you can even say to yourself, I'm a woman leader of love. I'm a messenger of light and love. And I want you to feel the energy moving through your being and moving down into your feet, and that light moving into the ground so that you're getting so grounded that you feel like a beautiful tree, an old tree, that you're so grounded, the roots are deep, and you're feeling and expressing this light. So I want you to feel that and just say yes to it. I give myself permission to lead with love, to be a woman leader of love, to anchor the light. I say yes to this. Breathing into this and releasing. So one last thought. As we move through each day, right? Crap happens and we start getting torn up about, how do I do this? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? And we're performing. When we can come back to center and say, what is love here? Love is loving myself and moving into alignment with the way I was created. It's not performing. It's not trying to make everyone happy, because you can't make everyone happy, right? Well, you can do one day for a person to make them happy. The next day they're going to bite your head off. So they have to choose happiness. So you choosing this path and getting grounded in this purpose helps you become that leader, so that people can really watch you and learn. And you're going to find so much joy and peace by doing this. So I want to invite you to do that. Okay. I want to invite you to really, anytime you have those moments of self-doubt and you're questioning yourself, you say, wait, I'm a woman leader of love. I am the divine mother to that little kid inside of me. I need to love her and embrace her and nurture her. I am owning my worth. And then your world around you is going to begin to shift. So I just want to say thank you for being here. Again, if you haven't gotten my well, I guess most of you have probably gotten my Women Leaders of Love ebook and meditations, which is the Worthiness Quotient Breakthrough Bundle. If you're here on the Zoom, for those of you who aren't on Facebook and you'd like to be a part of this call, that's how you get to be invited through the link. Katie says, thank you. You are so welcome. We will be back here. Thank you, Tranisha. My pleasure. I'm so glad you guys are here. And if you're wanting to go deeper, I'm always going to share my Worthiness Quotient digital program is out. It is amazing. It's not expensive. It's very inexpensive. And you can go check it out at terribritt.com/worthy, and you'll see the whole details of it. But it's going to make you go really, 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 really deep on core beliefs that are going to, once you shift them, your worthiness is just going to go whoo, and you're going to start tapping even more into your intuition. Yeah. And you're going to start learning how to really become a master manifester and harnessing the energy of your life. So you can check that out at terribritt.com/worthy. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great week, and thank you so much. I'm so grateful for each of you for being here. Thank you for being so courageous, and those of you who shared and asked questions. Takes such incredible courage. I appreciate you so much, and for every one of you for showing up here today. Much love to you, and I'll see you same time next week. And make sure to share this with your friends so we can come together and really create more light in the world. Bye-bye, everybody.